Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. It's May 5th, and I'm Rachel. I'm gardening for butterflies and for myself on the Alabama Gulf Coast in Zone 9A. And it is going to be a gorgeous day. Right now it's 71 degrees, and it's about to get up to about 82 today. And the wind is very low. It's just about 3 miles per hour. So that's great. We haven't had rain on the well, they haven't. I guess it was last Tuesday that they said it was going to rain, and then, but on Monday, I desperately wanted rain, and there was no rain in the forecast, and no rain on the radar, and I prayed. I was just like, God, please just send us some rain. We desperately need it, and I had been outside, and I went inside, and I heard a noise, a very unfamiliar noise, and it turned out it was pouring rain. And I looked on the radar, and it was just this one little blip on the radar that was coming over Orange Beach. And it was so incredible, like such an answer to prayer. And it poured and poured and poured, and I was just so thankful. And the garden, you will be able to see, has really responded to that giant rain. But that was just so neat to have that answer to prayer just like that. It seemed almost instantaneous. And I was so thankful. But y'all, I've been having so many adventures in the garden. I can hardly even list them all. So come along with me. I'll show you what's been happening. Okay, the garden is getting out of control, like already. I am going to do a Chelsea chop, which I looked up when that is because I was like, that seems like it should be soon. And it's in a few weeks. I think it's like the 21st or something like that. So near the end of May. Because I was going to show you what happens every year. I get greedy with the salvia, and I just want it to get as big as it can get. And you can see I can't even hardly walk through here now. But what happens, especially with the indigo spires, because it's so big, it gets really heavy. And see what happened here? This has broken off, and it's still alive. So that's pretty surprising. But I need to cut this back so it won't just totally splay and fall apart and just be a mess. But the cool thing about indigo spires, I was going to compare them so you can see why certain kinds are more popular with certain bees. So with indigo spires, look at how many flowers are on this. And not just that, the flowers are small, and honeybees can get inside them very easily. Oh, here's a little bee right here. So, well, it may be. They also are really fast. But they love these little flowers. And then the ones that are super great for hummingbirds are like the Salvia amistad, because those flowers are very deep and they can get into them better. The lamb's ears are blooming, which is super cool. I just never have seen that in person before. Look at how sweet that is. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to cut back this salvia because it's kind of hard to get through, and I have to kind of push it aside to get through here. Oh yes, and look at this. This is my what is that called? I don't know if I should call this clematis. Everybody calls it something different. But look, I've got two blooms about to open up here. One right there, one right here. This is the most successful clematis I have ever had. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know if see how pale the leaves are, and then inside there the leaves are a little bit darker. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or what, but I really like it, especially with the jewels of opar just being so delicate right here at the base of it. Now that my roses have pooped out, I moved a couple of my dahlias over kind of in the middle of this border here. And you know what? I'm so excited, and every year I'm always thankful. I'm so thankful that I didn't tear out these hydrangeas because I wanted to, because they looked so horrible. But once they fill out and start to bloom, they're just so beautiful. so, so beautiful amongst the salvia right there. It's just little pops of color, little bright, sunshiny color fun. Okay, back to the border. So, this one dahlia is so gorgeous. And then also, my millet has bloomed right here, and it's so fuzzy and cute. But look at this dahlia, and I don't even know what it is. It's not even looking that great now. But look how fantastic, how beautiful. So I put that one there and this one here, and I'm loving that all together. I also decided to play with putting stuff behind the fountain, and I'm not really sure. I'm just playing with it. This is not permanent, and it's not super great yet because I had to put this little globe basil right here because it was getting smushed by other things. But then another dahlia opened up, and it's such a pretty, pretty color. Oh, don't you love that? I actually know what the name of it is because I put the thing in the container. This is Sweet Natalie. Oh, it is so sweet. So sweet. But things are getting ready to pop. Just so many things are about to be blooming soon. I'm really excited about it. I'm especially excited about this Gumfrina because it's got these little flowers starting, and it's going to look like little lollipop plant, just a little pink lollipop plant with little pink balls floating. Oh, I was just reminded I've got to dig up and pot up one of these coral nymph salvia for a friend. Every time I show somebody the garden here and then my other garden at the other place, everybody always wants to know what the coral nymph salvia is because they've never seen it before. And it's like one of my favorite little flowers because it adds so much fun and beauty and just kind of delicacy to the garden. I don't think I've mentioned kind of the elephant in the room of the garden, but now you can't help but notice it. This sunflower right here that was planted by the squirrels is coming up nicely. I can't wait for it to open up because that is rather a fun thing, and I see it whenever I look out the window. But that dahlia is like the star of the show right now for me. It's making me it's thrilling to see it. But ooh, whoa, about to fall down. Oh yeah, but I made this little path, this little brick path, and I think I'll talk about it later. I videoed it a little bit when I was making it earlier this week, but so it's really fun to be able to walk through here now and get to things because for a while there it was just kind of like a blob of a sea of everything, and now that I've got a path, I can kind of maneuver through here. There's a lot of things that are going to be colorful in here, and oh yeah, so here, the anise hyssop. This I've been waiting for forever. It's been slow going. Like everything this spring has been way slower than last year because I went back and looked at my video and I had anise hyssop flowers like 2 weeks before now last year. So I don't know if that was due to keeping stuff inside in the potting shed and having it ready to go so early. But don't you love the little pops of this blue grass right here? I wanted things to have a little bit of a floatiness to them, and so I'm liking having grasses like here it is, there, and then the ferniness of the fennel. It's just fun. Right now, things look especially pretty with the dew on them. Just little, it makes everything just misty and gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to this cleome opening up. Doesn't that look like marijuana? It is not. It is cleome. Once it blooms, you will be able to tell. But I have put in a bunch of millet also. And so when the millet pops up, that's going to be extra, extra fun. This is some, it's going to be bright pink phlox. I took a picture of it because I wanted to see what my plant identifying app would call it. And they didn't really identify it properly because I know that that's what it's supposed to look like. I know it's got, isn't it lovely? It's got kind of a light green color, and then the burgundy stems, and then kind of a burgundy-ish edge to the leaves. But the plant identifying app said this plant looks sick, and I was like, no, 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 that plant is not sick. That's the way that plant's supposed to look. But this blue salvia is incredible, and it's just makes the bees so happy. They love it. I've got an adorable little video of a honeybee on one from earlier this week, and it was making me laugh because he would get on the flower and they would just like drop out of the air, just like fall, and then come back, and it was the funniest thing. This is a bigger bee, but he's not behaving like that other one was. You will just die when you see it. I was laughing so much. Y'all, I really hope these hollyhocks do well. Don't they look healthy? I mean, I think that's healthy. It's called a Zebrina hollyhock. It's a mallow. I think they call it, say it's like a French hollyhock. I can't tell if this cleome is going to be pink or purple. It looks like it's got a pale color to it. So, oh, I'm so excited about them. I just can't wait for them to pop. I have a couple more surprise dahlias in this pot right here. I need to water it because it was very, very dry. And a little grass that is taking forever to grow. But it's going to look really cute. But here is the view just from the corner. Yesterday I came home from work and I realized that the verbascum that I had seeded in a little pot were super dry. They had not gotten enough water because the leaves are so huge. So I potted one up. I think it's the only one I have in a pot, and I'll show you the ones in the ground. But first I have to show you this while I'm at it because it looks so pretty and fresh in the morning. And this is the wild petunia, because sometimes it can look not super great in the afternoon because you see those little brown, because the little blooms, they only last for a day. But these things seed so easily, and I let them grow mostly wherever they show up. Oh, but another thing. So this skull cap has just made it all over the garden. I have it, now I have it in many, many random spots. And isn't it just the loveliest little thing? So I'm enjoying that so much. All right, now we're going to go over and see the potted verbascum. I need to see how it made it through the night. Oh, and while I'm over here, just this licorice plant. Are you not loving it? And you know what I got to tell you? It's now not when it's wet because it's kind of damp right now, but when it dries off, the little leaves are so soft and velvety. Right now it would just be kind of gooey, and but look at how it's just so gorgeous. And look, it's growing over the container. I mean, it's just massive. This is my first year growing it, and I'm loving it with everything else. I had some petunias in this pot right here, and they just turned gooey and nasty. So I ripped them out yesterday, and I put this verbascum in it. And I mean, just look how it's gonna get tall. So I guess that's why it's got to have giant leaves. But it's gonna be so cool right here. I hope it works out. But y'all, aren't you just loving those colors? So far, nothing has gotten to the verbascum and my hollyhock right here that's been surrounded by these pots. An armadillo hasn't, at least, but it does look like back in the back there's some armyworm damage possibly on that verbascum. But these, maybe they're just not getting as much sun. They just don't seem to be growing as much. I thought that they would get crazy in the ground, but that's just not the case yet. Oh, this is kind of cool, this kind of wide angle with the sun just now starting to come out. Woo! Blinded myself. Don't y'all love that millet? It's just making me, I just enjoy that so much. Let's see if I can get a close up of it. It's just so fuzzy and sweet. Here's some proof that even the seedlings in their pots are not immune from having being bothered by armadillos, because you can see right here this was dug around and some of these pots were knocked over because armadillos decided that they wanted to dig around them. But yeah, I have so much to do over here. But you know what? This is turning out to be so neat. And I love the color of it. Do you see how gray green this is? This is blue flax. And they're so delicate. And I was just thinking maybe I could put them all in one pot and let it be. But I've never grown it before, and it's been slow growing for sure. But I love the feathery blue gray of them. It's just, that is really, really pretty. I wonder if this, and you know what, this is supposed to be a perennial, so maybe I can keep it alive all year. But my coleus, they have got to be potted up. Everything's got to be potted up. They're going to start rooting in the ground right here. These are those golden anise hyssop plants. They are super slow growing, and I've been kind of annoyed with it. But you know what's cool? Since they are slow growing, maybe, you know what happens with the anise hyssop? It kind of poops out not very long after it blooms. I mean, it blooms for a long time, and then you expect to have it for the whole summer, and then you don't. So that's what's cool about these. Maybe these will be the second wave of anise hyssop blooms and things in the garden. And then look at that. This is why I love Thai basil. It wants to live. I popped the tops off of them so they'd get a little more fluffy, and I've got like 2 whole trays of them, but they flower, these purple, tiny purple little flowers, and the bees, the pollinators, they love them so much. And they just smell so good too. I've never tried cooking with them, but I love the scent of them. This cardinal basil, though, I did cook with it. I made a frittata with and I used these leaves, and I used my patio baby eggplants, and made a, oh, so delicious frittata with some fresh eggs that my friend gave me. Oh, and I have plans for these globe basil. I'm going to do the same thing I did last year. I'm going to show you what it was. Last year in this gravel garden in the front here, I put the globe basil at intervals along the edge and made it look like a little faux box ball topiary kind of hedge, and it turned out so cute. And I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna pray that the armadillos will not mess with it, and I might like put a bunch of I need to put something in here that's gonna fill this out, because this is looking sad and scraggly and gross. The lavender is in danger of being taken over by these passion flower vines. I just had to rescue it, and it just doesn't look great, even though it's got flowers on it, and they are so pretty. Oh, they're so beautiful. Look at how it's got teeny tiny individual little flowers on it. So sweet. This kind of little ground cover right here is precious. It's called twin flower, and I think it's a larval host plant for a butterfly. I'm going to show you a close-up of it. That's the twin flower. Oh, I was going to show you why it's called twin flower, but I didn't find a good. Anyway, it's it's really pretty, and I've had it here growing and just proliferating, I guess, for about 7 years now. I've got 2 different kinds of passion flower vines that are growing up here, and I've got to start getting, you can see they're starting to like just go along the ground. We don't want that. So I've got to get some my little wire things. But look at this. An armadillo came along and did that. I kicked some dirt in there. That was very deep, probably about 8 inches deep. So nothing is safe from the armadillos. But I've got little spots of color growing in here of zinnia seeds that I threw out. And all this stuff will be overgrown, taken over by the passion flower vine. And the whole point of that is so that we can have clouds of Gulf fritillaries when they finally show up. I'm just so impressed. Jo at Jo's Texas Garden, she's in Houston, she's already got Gulf fritillaries. And I don't get Gulf fritillaries until late August, sometimes late September. So that's just so amazing. And that shows that she really is in a different gardening zone than I am. But oh, the other thing that's cool is I've got these coming up. These are Tithonia, Mexican sunflower, and they're going to grow massive, and the butterflies are going to love them. I get more butterfly action kind of out here in the front yard that's, well, you can see, straggly, during the middle of the summer than I even do in the back garden. So this is really good, a really good start. And I can't believe it. I managed to start a cosmos from seed. And what I did not plant it. Oh no, that is not how you can get cosmos, or not how I can get cosmos. What you do is you take cosmos seeds and you throw them out and you let them do whatever they want, because they are bratty, and they just want to live where they want to live and do what they want to do. They're kind of like 2-year-olds. Yeah, and I have a darling little stand of them right here, growing in the gravel garden too. Aren't they just the preciousest? The bog garden is living its best life right now. Just so much fun going on in there with the skullcap, and one of my pitcher plants even got to eat a bug this week, and I got a little video of that, and you'll get to see how it's being nourished. I have one little love and a mist flower coming back in a pot from when I planted some last year. I really like them, and I always want a ton of them, but of course I always want a ton of everything, and it always seems like I just get like 1 or 2. But I'm so happy that I made this little path right here, because I didn't have this last year. It was just one solid wall, and so I'm thankful I've got a couple of little ways to be able to get into the garden. Well, hopefully I'll still be able to get into the garden, but everybody's enjoying the sunshine and the nectar. I really wish we could have some hummingbirds come out here. They are here. They just haven't been battling this morning. And I'm really glad this, I think it's called evolvulus, this morning glory. I've had in a pot since last year, and it had just not bloomed yet, but it's blooming now. There are a bunch of little seedlings that are growing in the garden around and beside the pots, and I haven't mentioned any of them because I don't want my heart to be broken when an armadillo comes along and digs them up, and if I don't act super excited about them, maybe they can live. But do you see that frog fruit blooming right there, the little white dots? Is that not magical and fairy tale like? That is fun. If you can get some frog fruit, get it. And what's great about it is like a native kind of ground cover. You can see how it's growing all around these rocks and over these rocks, and you can see how I've kind of trodden it down, but it can manage it. It doesn't mind that. It just bounces back up. But you can see, there we go, some zinnias growing right in front of the path. I don't care. I love it. I want them to live. So much fun out here, y'all. The sunshine is so lovely. We're going to have a gorgeous day. I was thinking how much more fun it is to play outside now that I'm a grown-up, because I don't have to say, hey, let's pretend that we have a rose arbor, and let's pretend that we're sniffing roses, and let's pretend that we have a secret garden. No, I don't have to pretend. I can do it. I can make it happen. I mean, I still pretend anyway, but it's just so fun to be out here playing and making things happen. Being a grown-up is awesome, y'all. My giant swallowtail caterpillar is about to turn into a chrysalis. He's gotten up on the stick. You can see how big he is. He is a big boy. I don't know if you remember how little the caterpillars were from last week, but now they are giant and are going to turn into chrysalises pretty soon. I need to get a proper stick for them because we sure don't want them to be doing their chrysalis on the cage. That would be bad, bad, bad. I got home from church and saw that we have 2 butterflies here. To release a butterfly, I usually put my finger in front of them to get them to step up on it, but maybe I'll put this one. Here we go. This is an eastern black swallowtail. And isn't it just phenomenally beautiful? This is probably the last time I'll see it. It seems like every time I release an eastern black swallowtail, that's the end. I don't see them ever again. But then they sneak in the garden and lay eggs on the fennel. I'm going to let it step up onto this bubblegum super petunia. Such a beauty. Don't you just love it? And here's the other one. I don't want to, this one I think probably came out sooner than the other one because it seems more anxious. Oh, look, there they go, flying away. Last time I'll see them. Okay, there's that one. Oh, it landed not even on a flower. It's on a hydrangea that hasn't opened yet. I was going to say, when you raise them, you get to get really close to them for just a short amount of time. So beautiful. Something that's fun about seeing lizards in the garden is if you see one, there's probably another one nearby. So here's the other one. And I don't know if these two are competing or if this is a female and this is a male and he's got his eyes on her. But he's so bright green and pretty, isn't he? Oh yeah, he's like, what are you doing? Please leave. This is embarrassing. Cool. Well, let me see it. There you go. Beauty. You are a beauty. I may still have my eastern black swallowtail. Oh, there it goes. It can't abide being videoed. It's like, Mom, stop. The new butterfly that I released is being a little taunty McTaunter. It keeps coming around, but every time it seems to me bring the camera up, it will fly away. And right now it's on the millet. It keeps landing on things that don't have nectar in them. I wish I was able to help it, but I think it's happy because it keeps circling around the garden and it's staying. So that is thrilling to me. And the wind is just really crazy today, but the sun's out and that is very pleasant. I've just done a thing. Oh, I have a butterfly. I think the butterfly that I released yesterday has come back, and look, it knows how to drink from the salvia. That is an eastern black swallowtail. I'm so thrilled that it came back the next day. That is amazing. Let's see if it'll let me get close. I bet it won't. It will not recognize me. It's like, you're that annoying woman who... Oh, so pretty. pretty? These are indigo spires. I just laid out more stones for the path. I decided to make one straight to the fountain, and I'm hoping that a lot of things will grow in between the stones. And then I did another little thing because I thought, you know what, I need to get in here to be able to see some of the stuff and just do things to it. So I took some of my bricks and I made a little herringbone path through here. What I like about it is it gives me an opportunity to get in here and do work, but it's not super invasive and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. Oh, and there's my butterfly again. Oh, it's gone. With the semi herringbone pattern, I was able to work around some of the plants that were in the way of the path. So I really like that. It's curvy, it's fun, it's cottagey, it's makeshift. It's not permanent, so whenever I don't like it anymore, I can move it. I really like that a lot. In the bog garden, skullcap is blooming. See that? It's darling. And it's right in the center of the bog garden. Also, I've got a bunch of pictures coming up. Little pictures there, and then big pictures here. Big honking pictures. The pitcher plant has its first victim. Little butterfly garden is looking really good. Things are filling out, and I didn't even remember doing this, but I've got some skullcap right there. A bunch of it blooming. Another thing that's a surprise is right here, and I must have thrown some out last year, but is forget-me-not, and I totally forgot to mention that from my garden, but you can see the difference between the blue-eyed grass and the forget-me-not. But yes, it's looking so lovely. There's more to bloom soon, but this is the little public butterfly garden. It's so fuzzy. There's a darling tree frog on my millet. Look at how big he is. Him is a big boy. I'm so darling. I think he might be regretting his choice of being right here now that I've seen him, because I just love watching him. Look at his gorgeous golden eye. Perfect fennel. So beautiful. Oh yes, I saw something incredible the other day over here, and I videoed it, and then I double checked to make sure that I was correct. But I saw a firefly now, and it was during the day, and I got a little video of it. I just recognized its shape, but when I was growing up, we called them lightning bugs. And we had so many lightning bugs. I mean, just the woods were just lit up with them, you know, the edge of the woods. And it was so magical, and there were just so many of them. It didn't seem like there would ever be a shortage of lightning bugs. But I haven't seen fireflies in quite a long time. But what's so wild is my daughter told me last night. She said, hey, I saw 2 fireflies last night at the edge of the woods. So I hope that maybe I can video some for y'all, because they're just so magical. And the thing is, she looked it up to see what it was that caused them to not be around anymore. And one of the reasons that people have been, they rake up the leaves because they like to lay their eggs in the leaves. And when you destroy the leaves, you're destroying a lot of potential beauty. So leave the leaves. I think that's a new mantra of gardeners. But I wonder if y'all have seen any fireflies in your area. Y'all let me know. Oh, it's so humid out here. I think even my hat got a little droopy from the humidity. I'm like drenched in I wouldn't say it's sweat. It's just like I'm just soaking wet from the dampness of the air. But y'all, I hope y'all are having fun in your gardens. Thank y'all so much for coming along with me and mine. It has God is so good. He has he blesses, and he's just so good. I'm so thankful for all the things that he's doing in everybody's lives. I know he's working in everybody's lives, and I'm thankful for that, because I don't have to wonder, oh, is God working in those people's lives? No, he is. He's always working. He never takes a break, and I can see that he is like working overtime right now, making things grow out here. But God bless y'all. Y'all have a great week. I can't wait to find out what's happening in your gardens and hear about your adventures. And y'all, let's play outside.